Yeah, so we're just meeting up this morning first to before we head over to a new property that we acquired. We're going to use it as a short-term rental. We're still in the process of furnishing it and getting it ready to be listed. We're making a lot of good progress. We're very close to having it go live. We're back this week at the short-term rental that we're setting up, and just want to give you a little bit of an update of what we've added to the place since. We are getting ready to make the listing live to go online so people can start booking this place for their stay here. In the kitchen, we still want to make it functional. We went and got just like a little dish soap, a brush, a drying rack. We also loaded up some pots and pans and things like that, just for an easy stay. Of course, I don't want them preparing Thanksgiving dinner here or anything like that, but you want to leave enough stuff here so I don't know, maybe somebody wants to make some breakfast. So we added like a little coffee maker. We got just some grounded coffee, provided some filters, some sugar, some creamer, just basic amenities for guests when they stay here. Just because when you're staying here, you wake up, you need a cup of coffee, you want to have that ready for people too. So buying cookware, I've read a lot of people's blogs. I've watched a lot of vlogs as well of people doing short-term rentals, and one of the tips that a lot of people kept putting out there was the fact to use silicone cookware. Actually, reason for this is it's the most durable. It doesn't stain, nor does it melt and things like that. So you have to consider when you have cookware in a house that is being used over and over again, you don't want it to appear worn, because I think if you were staying at another person's house and you see their cookware and it looks like it's been worn and stained or whatever, it's like you don't want to use that stuff. You don't know who stayed here before. Going back to the cookware again too. So even with the cookware that we decided to go with, we went with a ceramic cookware. This was another tip that a lot of hosts talk about, is using a ceramic cookware. Reason for that is it is non-stick. It does not stain, and unlike non-stick like Tefal or something like that, once you start using those things and they start to peel or discolor, again, it just looks kind of nasty, and it's somebody's worn, used cookware. Oh, all right, let's talk about the refrigerator. So I got this at Costco. I got the stainless steel one just because it has an upgraded feel when you go stainless steel. Even though my stove is black and stainless and my dishwasher is black and stainless also. We did this one. I like to provide a couple drinks for them, a couple bottles of water just to get them started. Not feeding them or any of that stuff. Wow, look at this. Brand new, guys. Brand new. But I did one without an ice dispenser on the outside, just because those tend to break down over time a lot more. And then, especially when you have a lot of people using it, they're just here for, vacation or whatever. They're probably not going to be as delicate or gentle with your stuff. So I did no ice dispenser. There is one in the freezer, which is, which has ice cubes if they really want ice, right? But I don't need a dispenser because that's just more possible things that could break. Yeah, I got a knife set. I'm not so sure, like when I go out of town, I don't know if I'm always like, I need a set of knives, but it looks good on the kitchen counter and it completes your kitchen kind of. So if you're doing a short-term rental and you say that you can host up to 6 people, 8 people, things like that, you need to have enough sets of silverware, bowls and plates, cups, all that. You need to accommodate that many people too. So if you say that you're hosting up to 8 people, 9 people, or something like that, you need to have enough that will accommodate that. All right, that's important, because all the different platforms like the Airbnbs, VRBOs, and things like that, that is something that is required. If you're advertising for a certain number of guests, you need to have enough silverware, bowls, plates, cups to accommodate. Another thing when hosting people's stay here, one of the most essential services that you need to provide actually is Wi-Fi, believe it or not, all right? Everybody's on their devices. Everybody expects Wi-Fi at your property. So, I mean, I price things around. There's broadband options locally and things like that. I actually went with, this is like a T-Mobile, kind of a hotspot thing. You just buy it. It's $50 a month. It provides a Wi-Fi network for the house. It is 5G. Seems pretty good. I think it's cost effective. And the reason why it's in my kitchen is because you have to put it in a high spot so you have good coverage for the whole house. And that's why it's in my kitchen. Let's talk about the dining table now. I wanted one that wasn't too big, number one, just because for the space, I want it to be appropriate, right? I don't want, you don't want to go into and see one of those 10 people setups, right? I don't think that's necessary. I do have enough chairs to cover enough guests that need to stay here, but what's important is I chose, this has a vinyl top. It's not real wood. It's not real wood. I got this because it would be durable, just so I wouldn't have to worry about, guests scratching it up or damaging things like that. We got these chairs that are hard surface chairs too. We don't want to get cloth chairs just because they stain, rip, and get worn over time too. As long as you select things that are, durable, easy to clean, maybe you can get a little longer use out of it, right? So, there's a extra space in this kind of main living area in this house. I originally was going to set up a desk or something here, just in case someone was traveling, like working and traveling and things like that. Thought I would put a little desk here, but turns out that's not as good as an idea. I mean, it seems like all the other hosts that I talk to, they're like, no, you don't need a desk. If they need to set up and sit down and work, you have a dining table where you can do that. You want to maximize the number of beds you have available in your property, right? So I decided to go with a day bed plus a trundle underneath. So that basically adds 2 more beds. So, I mean, you can advertise it for 2 more guests can stay in this house now, because you have a day bed and then you have a single mattress underneath that adds to your capacity of guests you have, which should add to your income and how much you can charge for renting out your house, for your daily rate, things like that. Because if I just had 3 bedrooms with, queen beds and all of them, I can only advertise for 6 people. Adding this is 2 people. So, I mean, that's now I have a house that's could host up to 8 people. I can even include the sofa if I want to. Going with the theme here, we want to use furniture that's easy to wipe and clean off for, each guest that comes here. You just want it, you don't want like a lot of like cushioned headboards and things like that. I just think that's just going to give you a feel of, I don't know whose head's been on here too, and it's hard to clean. So, but we did this. We got all brand new sheets here. They do recommend white linens. It just has a fresher feel, kind of like that hotel room feel. They always have white sheets and things like that. So we did white linens just to make it go well. One tip that I read from a lot of hosts was, rather than doing comforters and then duvet covers for those comforters, that was causing a lot more laundry problems and work, and they're more expensive too. So I met, a lot of hosts really recommend using quilts. So on this one, I'm trying the quilt thing. All right, we're in Vegas. It's not too cold. I think a quilt would be sufficient for bedding here. And the good thing about them is they're easier to clean. Which is important, right? With a comforter, it's like you don't wash a comforter after every stay. Where a quilt, you could if you wanted to, and just easier maintenance and easier to clean. And we'll see how this goes. Here just to, it's really more for just noise, really. I want to know that if, they're outside hanging out in the backyard, they're not disturbing the neighbors and things like that. So I can always see like, hey, is there a big gathering here? Are they having a party? It's got a microphone so I can hear if it's a lot of noise and stuff. And I can even talk back to them if I want to. I can just be like, hey, keep it down, get it, you know, if I wanted to, so.